The first thing that I want to go over is materials that I use. The first thing you will need is some standard regular flashcards. I get mine at the dollar store, but you can get it basically at any store. Next, you'll need some sort of black writing device. I have these two pens. One is just like a cheap pen that I got at the store, and then the other one is a Pigma Micron. I like to use these even though they're a bit more expensive because they're pretty high quality and I like to use them for art as well. I also recommend some highlighters. The ones that I use are the Zebra Sarasa mild liners, and I also use the Stabilo Boss highlighters. I really like these highlighters because they're like very pastel and they work really well with my aesthetic. They also work very well and they're pretty affordable, which is a plus. I also recommend to have some colorful pens. I have the Zebra Sarasa gel pens, and then I also have the Stabilo liners. I like that I'm able to match my pen colors to my highlighters. Stickers can be a really good addition, but they're not really necessary. I got these ones from Daiso, but you can get stickers from really anywhere. Lastly, I have these binder clips that I got from the dollar store that I use to hold all my note cards together. Let's start off with some title card ideas. This first idea is actually really simple. Like, even if you aren't very artistic, you can still do this one. All you have to do is just write the name of the unit that you're covering, and then just draw a line with your highlighter and a ruler across the very top. I like to add like a sub-theme inside the highlighter because it helps me keep everything organized. You don't have to use a ruler, but I find that it looks a lot better when you do. And that's literally all you have to do for the first idea. My second idea is to do basically the same thing as the last one, but to just add a little bit more detail. I like to add like little lines and dots and stuff to just add a little bit more character to my flashcards. It just makes things look a little less boring, but it still isn't super hard to do. You might have noticed that I am just using pink for these flashcards, and that is just because I tend to like to pick a color theme for each unit that I'm making cards for, because it makes it easier to keep track of things. For the next title card, I decided to grab one of my highlighters and write in capital letters the name of my unit. I made sure to hold my highlighter the same way every time I drew letters so that the letters would be more like uniform. Then I took one of my black pens and I wrote in cursive the lowercase letters. I tend to do this a lot for notes headings, but I think it works really well for this as well. You don't have to be really good at cursive or anything to do this one. I find that spacing out the letters makes cursive to be a little bit easier and look a little nicer. I also used one of my Stabilo liners and my ruler to make a line, and then I also used my black pen to write my sub-theme at the top. I do this to balance out the amount of highlighter at the bottom, and I think it looks really good. This example is kind of similar to the previous ones, where I drew in black pen the name of the unit, and then at the top I use my ruler to highlight. I use my pen to write the sub-theme at the top, but instead of just leaving the term blank, I decided to use a box around it. You could use a ruler if you really want to be a perfectionist, but I do feel like this one is something that literally anyone could do. These four are done, but I still have one more idea I want to share. So I made this basic flashcard, but I wanted to use some stickers and some doodles. I just added some stickers to the front of this card. Then I used one of my Zebra Sarasa pens to add some like highlights and stars to it. I think it's quite cute, but still simple. I really like to format my card titles like this. On the backs of my title cards, I also like to add other information that might help me when I'm reviewing. So now let's do some actual vocab cards. I like to add a highlight line to both sides of the card just for consistency's sake. The format for my flashcards can change a little bit depending on the subject, but for this one I'm writing a vocab word on one side, and then I'm going to write the conjugations of the verb on the other side. I find that flashcards tend to be the best way for me to study Spanish because it just helps to refresh your mind with the same things over and over again. I have semester exams later this week, so I just wanted to make sure I actually got these flashcards done in time, so I hope they help me with my exams. I will be vlogging my finals week and I will be posting a video on it later next week. I really hope I do well on them, but I'm going to make sure that I do plenty of studying. This seems like a great time to ask you to just subscribe or like the video if you're enjoying it, since I'm trying to hit 350 subscribers by the end of the year. So just like all the other ones, I'm going to add my sub-theme in the highlighted area. I did write the name of my class on the other side because I also had another spot for highlighted areas. I wasn't quite done because I decided to add some extra additions to my flashcards. I decided to use either my Sarasa pen or my Stabilo liner to add a couple of extra details. Finally, my flashcards were done and I was able to use my binder clips to hold all of my flashcards together. I really like the way that they turned out and I hope this tutorial really helps someone. Making aesthetic flashcards really isn't that hard and it doesn't take all that much time, and I think it's really rewarding to have some flashcards that are actually fun to look at. It's really great for motivating me to study. I also wanted to show some older flashcards that I had made previously. These ones are in a different color, but they follow a very similar format to the ones that I made. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments because I will do my best to answer any questions I receive. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.